good and bad and ugly, I'm just gonna jump into it and do everything else post and see how well that all works out. I wanted to know first, have you heard about the whole controversy thing about the director of subscriptions for Ubisoft, saying that gamers should get used to the idea of not owning their games?
I saw some thumbnails about it.
I'm sure that you probably didn't look further into it, but more or less, it's the let me try to separate this one piece by piece. One, he's the director of subscriptions, so obviously his goal is to make sure that people subscribe to the services of Ubisoft Plus. So obviously he's going to say something like, yeah, get used to the idea of not owning your game. Now people from the service level will be like, okay, that's ridiculous, that's stupid. There's even memes going, okay, if we as gamers cannot own our games, then piracy shouldn't be considered theft or something like that. And I'm like, oh yeah, people are really obviously mad. And obviously, like, you know, the idea like, oh yeah, if I spend money on something, I should get something like that should be in hand for me to have. However, you and me have had this conversation before. You and me have talked about the idea of, like, we don't really own games. We really haven't for the longest time. If a publisher or what have you decide, oh, okay, because of licensing or because we're just because we could or whatever, they'd be like, okay, well, you can't download this game anymore. You can't play this game anymore. It's unplayable. It's undownloadable. It's almost wiped out of existence. And we talked about, like, okay, that's kind of bullshit. That's kind of unfair. Yada yada yada. We've been through that road. We've had that conversation. But this kind of brings a little bit more up to the foreground, and obviously a lot of people were very upset about this. So I wrote down a couple notes. The idea that I see the good in this being the industry is trying to go of the way of movies and TV shows have been doing with live streaming for years. We see Disney Plus, we see Paramount, we see Hulu, we see, heck, Netflix was really the first one to really do it. The idea of we have this library of movies and TV shows, pay us the right to watch it. And obviously it makes sense that gaming would want to try to go that route. The bad thing is that people really don't like that idea that, that we are giving up money for a special experience where video game comes in, to not own a piece of that, but we only own the memory, the experience that we have on a personal level. That's the bad thing. People don't like that, and that's understandable. Honestly, to tell you the truth, there are games that I wish I could still play that I cannot, like Alpha Protocol, Battleborn, Outriders is unplayable at this point. Like, you can't even play that game. People kind of feel, in a way, robbed if you're paying for something that later can be easily taken away. There was a situation where PlayStation had a service connected to it where you could buy movies from this particular app, program, whatever, and the app and program just recently disconnected. And I saw this through Young Ye's video, that everybody's video within that app program that PlayStation, promoted and endorsed and what have you, they're just gone. You do not get those back. That is money that you will not get back. The experience that you have is that hopefully you watched it before then. That whole shebang. And people were in outrage, the idea like, oh, if we purchase something full price, we should get to at least keep it in some way, shape, or form. Be it, we should have the license to it to use it as legally seen fit, kind of thing. And I see where people are coming at that. Now, this is more the ugly aspect of that. Even though this has gained major backlash, I do understand that even though in the past such services such as Stadia, PlayStation Plus have failed, but there have been others that have succeeded in doing the exact same model that Disney Plus and Hulu and the other TV services, Netflix, have done. And I think the one that has been most successful has been the Game Pass, the Microsoft Ultimate Game Pass. The idea that let us handle the heavy work and we take most of the liability and everything else, and you guys just enjoy the game. We have a library and you can download these games, and while we have them in our library, you can play them. Now, games will be recycled. We can't keep them all in our library or whatever, but while they're in that library and you pay for that subscription, you will be able to play these games unlimitedly. I think there was a service that you were part of a couple years back, Gamefly, that was almost kind of the same model. The same idea exists here in Game Pass, and I think might be the future of gaming, in the idea that rather than, yes, of course you can still buy game, but if there was also a service that, I can just spend $10-$20 a month and I can literally play ever, I feel like, from your library. That might be more of the future of the gaming industry as a whole. And that's me rambling for about maybe 5 minutes. Rambling, but kind of getting to the point of the good, the bad, the ugly of this particular situation. I would say I would be interested in what you're saying, but I don't want to impose on anything. Is there anything that you want to say about this, knowing the information I've given to you so far?
This story doesn't apply to me. I play games like they're going away. I know everything I buy in my Steam inventory. We talked about this before, like you said. That Deadpool game that I bought and played on Steam,
yeah.
The publisher removed that shit. I literally can't re-download that.
Yep.
Since way back then, all this shit, anything digital, I do not respect. I use it. I try to play the most out of it, enjoy it, because yes, it's gone. And I guess why people feel like games you could be able to return to, or you got people doing piracy, something like a movie. There are very little movie or TV shows I return to, but I know people have their comfort TV shows like The Office, or The Lost, or whatever, and they get DVDs. That's fine.
Yeah.
People like you said, it's the experience, it's the memories. I know I can't recreate those memories. The game is just a vessel or a tool to get there. Same thing like watching a bad movie or watching a good movie, watching a TV show or reading a book. So if you try to recapture those memories by replaying a thing, it's never the same. But it won't be the same as the first time we went through it together when the Terminator chased us across the fucking map. But to me, that's when I buy things. That's why I actually don't subscribe to subscription services. Because I know once I played the game, I try to play it to the maximum amount of hours that I enjoy it. I'm having fun. And then I move on. But on the same thing, that's why I don't get the subscription services for things like Game Pass. It's like, oh, this game is on Game Pass. It's like, yeah, but I only want that game. I don't want to pay for the privilege to pay that game and others that I'm not going to touch. Same thing with free games. It's like, if I have no interest, I don't care if it's free. If I never install it or boot it up, it doesn't exist to me anyway. That's how I see it. I understand other people feel as they want to own the game, and I feel that's different now because we straight download, install, uninstall games like we're changing our drawers. So I don't see it as like, oh well, you spent money on the expansion packs in the battle pass and the seasons. I'm like, yes, but that was at the time. It's a different time. You know what? That's how I feel. I get what they're saying. Ubisoft should have just shut the fuck up, because generally in your business model, you don't tell people what you're doing. But like you said, we're already technically there.
Yeah.
You buy a game on Steam, you're under Steam's license, or the publisher be like, yeah, you just can't play Outriders, or we remove Deadpool. The fuck is the actual difference? I can't go to Steam. Steam, please send me a CD for this game that I could boot. The only thing I heard, I think it's somewhere in Steam, that if Steam goes out of business, they will let you play your games after Steam is out of business. But I mean, if Steam is out of business, right, we got a way major fucking problems.
Yeah.
Then like, oh, I want to play this game from 2002, Half-Life 1 or some shit. You know what I mean? Like that. So, but to me, it's like, dude, I might be 56 and like, yeah, I can't even play games anymore by the time Steam go out of business. It's like, man, y'all kids missed the heyday, and you know, so. To me, I treat all digital goods as the disposal, like you would lose them. It's all a memory. It's the experience of life. I don't complain about, yo, you sold me a pizza 16 years ago and I ate it and shit it out and I want my money back. Or a DVD for a movie or watch.
But at the same time, that's not the same argument. Well, like, granted, I do understand what you're saying, but like, the way that I see that you're seeing is that you have accepted that this is just going to be just the way it is, right?
Kind of, sort of, but let me clarify. You're right. Let me clarify. I don't believe we own anything in today's society if it's digital. And that's a whole different, but that's why I do effort on things I can control. Like my body health, my job, income, skills, and things. But yes, like games, music, movies. Like, yeah, I pay for YouTube Premium. So also, because that gives me access to the YouTube Music app so I can listen and stream music. Because, like you said before, you could buy a digital movie on PlayStation and they're like, oh, the licensee said we can't hold this no more. I'm like, but we paid you.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck, should have bootlegged it to start with. What the Ubisoft person is saying is correct. On the face of the way our systems are ran.
Yeah.
You buy your games through Steam. You get your games through Xbox Pass, Game Pass, or you buy them through Xbox Game Store. Unless you play on PlayStation or you buy a physical copy, you still don't own it. You own it. But you only own that physical copy, because you can own the physical copy of Outriders, pop it into your Xbox, and the server still won't be up for you to play damn game.
That's true. That's true.
So, to me, to summarize, the whole way we got everything set up, they've been taking shit from us all the time. Digitally, across content, across different things, like, digital books. It's like, this book is now banned. We're deleting the copy from your Amazon account. Like, this is the nature. What people do, we have people who, one, make their own games, branch out. Indie became a much bigger thing, much quality games. We have mobile gaming, which is a whole separate argument. We have people who actually do piracy and what they call game preservation.
Yeah.
I understand personally is not for me, because I understand that I can't recapture the memories of playing through certain games at the stages of my life when I played them, because now the whole pretty much universe is different from when I played it. But yeah, that's my summary.
Yeah.
It's the nature of what it is. He just said the quiet part out loud.
And that itself already upset people.
Yeah, and that's what, but if you think about where you're buying your games, it's like, why you go? Because what's the difference between Steam and Epic? You got a bigger chance that most people think that Epic will probably go under before Steam, so you don't want to buy a game on Epic versus Steam, like in a bigger grand scale. Like, yeah, if you bought games on Stadia, rebought games on Stadia, by the way, and then you lost that copy because Stadia went down. So yeah, he just said it out loud, what most people already felt this way, but you can see gaming is not actually slowing down.
No,
it's getting more expensive.
Yeah,
now it's $70 a brand new game,
because back in the day,
everybody accepted it.
Yeah, that's how enough people did accept it, and that still boggles my mind, because back in the day, it's like, oh, this expensive because hard disk, and then we need to put on a disc, and then we need to ship off the plastic that the disc is held in, and then the cover art, and then the booklet and the manual. Which now all those things are non-existent, and it is still going up. It's just like, oh yeah, there's no real difference, other than there is no way to really discount a game other than by interest, which is once again another topic altogether. But yeah, all right. If that is your good, bad, and ugly contribution, that is honestly great. We finished it in underneath half an hour. That's only going to kill me for maybe 3 weeks.